spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation.
Spark a dream that we're meant to follow.
You're listening to the Extra Magic Hour, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the Diz Insider. Join the team in the studio as they bring you the spirit of Disney through park news, history, and tips and tricks to make your Disney Parks vacation even more magical. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Extra Magic Hour, your park-centric show here at Walt's Apartment Productions. I am one of your hosts, Sam, and today we are going to be talking about changes to the Disney dining reservation system, Halloween in the parks, and we've got some trip reports as well as some Universal news. And we've got some concept art for Monsters, Inc. So that's exciting. Before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors, Sunken City Design, Getaway Today, and We're in the Park. And a big shout out to our lamplighters, our Patreons, who are keeping the conversation going over on our Discord, which if you have not joined yet, you totally should. It's free. It's a lot of fun. So click the link in the show notes to check it out. Before we dive into our topics today, let's say hi to the rest of the team. Courtney, Joey, how are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good.
Yes, glad to be here on one of our favorite shows.
Yes.
Talking about the parks.
So we've got lots of news to cover today, and we've got some new things we're going to be adding to the show. So, well, not really new, just things we're bringing back to the show. So we are going to be diving right into those things. The first thing that we're going to talk about is actually Disney made some changes to their dining reservation system, which, I mean, it's kind of about time.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so what happened is you can now see multiple days out longer. So I know this is big for like Disney World, that you can like make reservations multiple days out longer. And also with like Disneyland, I know usually it's like day of, but like you can also do multiple days out on Disneyland too. And I think they made it easier to see.
Yeah. It definitely is more streamlined. It's easier to be able, before you would have to go in, like select each day, and it was very, very hard to navigate the times that were available. So it's definitely more streamlined. It's easier to use. And I think a lot more people are going to appreciate it. So you guys, I was going to say, like, I know I book reservations at Walt Disney World Dining far in advance because we want to get character dining. So as far as we can.
Yeah.
So when you go to Walt Disney World.
When we go to Walt Disney World, we're definitely like on that, like we have to make reservations because we just know that it's different. The only time we didn't is like the last time we went right before our cruise. We like just kind of, the only thing that I had on my mind is that I wanted a reserved seating for the Broadway, like because we went during the Festival of the Arts. So I wanted the Broadway show. So we made sure to have like a dining reservation, not a reservation, but like we could do the walk up at Regal Eagle and get a reserved time to sit down in that. The time before that, they did not bring back the dining plan. And so we kind of just mainly did
quick
service, mobile ordering, and we just so happened to like find a reservation for Skipper Canteen. Like we found that like in Magic Kingdom, Skipper Canteen is pretty easy to find reservations day of. But other than that, we didn't really make reservations the last time we were there but then the other two times we were there, we had the dining plan and we made sure to have all those reservations that we wanted.
Yeah.
Thanks. You just made my stomach growl saying Skipper Canteen.
I know. And I'm like hearing people say there's always day of reservations. I'm like, there is if you look, but that's crazy to me because it's some of the best food on Walt Disney World property.
I think because most people go for like the diamond horseshoe with the like the character dining with Pooh and Friends and stuff like that. So that might be why that they're. And then Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella's royal table is the one that is the hardest to get. That's why when we went with like the highest Disney dining plan they had before the pandemic, we made sure to get that like 2 credit dining. That because Cinderella's royal table was 2 credits, like it was signature dining. So
yeah, I've always before the pandemic, I always did the highest dining plan as well because we try to get a character dining in every single day. So
yeah, and I've never done a dining plan. We did when I went with my parents a few times. We did make reservations for be our guest, especially when it was like brand new. But then the last couple of times, we decided not to because well, it might have been nicer with the dining plan, but the prices even for lunch for be our guest now weren't really worth it. So
your mic dropped.
Mic drop.
That's okay. We can hear you now.
That's better.
Yeah, I rarely, but I think every once in a while at Disneyland,
it's having problems.
All right.
It's okay. So, what is your favorite table service restaurant that you would need a reservation for? Disneyland or Walt Disney World?
Well, I will say at Disneyland, you don't really need reservations except for Lamplight or Blue Bayou, but definitely I like Tepanito in the Japan.
Oh, yeah. I like
was really
Tepanito
fun.
too.
I like Coral Reef at Epcot.
I've always wanted to eat there, but we haven't eaten there yet.
That one's always a must go to.
I actually really like Akershus breakfast.
Yes, the Princess Breakfast.
The Princess Breakfast. That one is my favorite. We made sure
to do that one too.
Sanaa is really good too.
I heard that, but when we went, we really didn't kind of make reservations at like resorts, except for like the artist story. What are they called? The
Artist
one with
Point.
the white. Yeah, Artist Point at that one, or Topolino's on top of that one's we really like that breakfast. That
the one I really want to go to next trip or a future trip is Steakhouse 71.
Yeah, I heard
I've
the
been
burger's really good there.
Yeah,
Alex got me really wanting to go there.
Yeah.
There's tons of great dining options available at Walt Disney World and Disneyland, but Walt Disney World, definitely those reservations are more needed, especially if you're wanting to do character dining. So check out their new online reservation system. They've always had it where you could make your reservations online. They've just streamlined the system a little bit, made it a bit more user-friendly. So good play on Disney.
I will say that at Disneyland, if you're looking to do like a Fantasmic dinner package or anything like that, definitely make those reservations in advance. The lunch one is really good at Rancho. We like doing that one, and it's reasonably priced where it's more expensive for dinner. But like if you're looking to do a dining package for like Paint the Night or World of Color, those are the kind of things that definitely need a reservation.
And if you're listening to us and you're saying this sounds so stressful, even though we're saying they streamlined and made the reservation website easier, we do have someone that can, or a team of someone's that can help make that process easier, even easier for you by just booking it for you. So you can check out our travel agent sponsor, Getaway Today, and they will plan as much or as little as you want them to. So let's hear from Getaway Today.
It's been a great show so far, but who's ready for an ad break? Did you know that the best way to keep our shows going is by supporting our sponsors? So let's get to know more about the travel experts at Getaway Today. They've been helping to make vacation dreams come true since 1990. And whether you want to visit the happiest place on earth or to travel to Orlando for a most epic adventure, they are there to help. Are you trying to find out which hotel is your best option? Or which theme park tickets will work best for your visit? Are you concerned that you might need a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts will help you out. Looking to book a cruise but don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it's your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today offers peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours before your trip. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon welcome. Getaway Today guarantees the best prices, with no hidden fees, and every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million have been donated. So go ahead and dial 1-855-GETAWAY, that's 1-855-438-2929, and be sure to tell them that Walt's Apartment sent you. Or just click the link in our show notes for more information and the best deals to start your Disney, Universal Studios, or cruise vacation planning. What I'm trying to say is, if you like to travel, check out Getaway Today. All right, so now it's time to get back to enjoying that view from Walt's apartment. Let's get back to the show.
Definitely check out Getaway Today for all of your vacation planning needs. Well, every great park has a few stories that we don't always see on the map. So we're going to shift into a segment that we've kind of had on the show before, but we're doing it a little bit different. We took our This Week in Disney History and we moved it to our live show to incorporate media and other facets of the Disney company and not just theme parks. So since we've taken this show to all theme parks and cruise line, the Disney Cruise Line, we are going to do a theme park deep cut segment. So stuff that doesn't always make the headlines, but definitely makes theme park history a lot more interesting. So every week, while people are at the parks enjoying attractions, riding the rides, grabbing churros, there's behind the scenes work happening. Soft openings, random closures, little changes that end up shaping the parks that we love. So we are going to focus this week on some cool moments that happened between June 9th and 13th in history, including some attractions quietly closing, big changes in the works for a few, and some deep cuts for theme park nerds like us. So my June 9th deep cut for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout officially had its first Monsters After Dark test run at DCA.
Oh.
While the official seasonal overlay debuted later, test runs began after hours during the summer. So that was in 2017. And then in 1956, Rainbow Caverns Mine Train opened at Disneyland.
Wait. So it opened in 2017, May of 2017. So that means they already had that idea to have that overlay for Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah. And another little thing, the main monster that's loose in that attraction was also one of the monsters that was highlighted in Thor Ragnarok at the beginning. The one that the fire monster that's chasing them.
Yes.
So that was a way to introduce that monster before, because that movie came out in November, I believe, of that year.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it did. It did.
See, I told you guys we were going to get nerdy with this. And then in 1956, Rainbow Caverns Mine Train opened at Disneyland, which later evolved into Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. That was a big part of early Disneyland's Frontierland and a precursor to Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder.
June 10th in 1984, America Sings officially closed at Disneyland. Many of the animatronics from America Sings were repurposed into Splash Mountain. And that closure quietly marked the beginning of Imagineering's long preparation for Splash, which would open in 1989 at Disneyland.
And Star Tours droids.
Yes, the droids were Star Tours.
These are the droids they were looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I loved America Sings.
I never saw it.
June 11th, 1976. Disney's River Country debuted its first summer season. Disney World's first water park. River Country operated on Bay Lake until its closure in 2001. It was the first ever water park to use a natural water filtration system integrated with a real lake. So I thought that was a fun fact. that just goes to show that Disney's innovation doesn't just stop in theme parks and in animation or in cinematography. It also was into their water parks. They were developing new technology to be able to create new things for water parks and making it work. And I think that's pretty cool. So,
I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we've got for my more theme park deep cuts. They were mostly Disney this week. They were Disney this week, but I'm sure there'll be more in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
It's a little spin on what we used to do for our This Week in Disney History. So we, speaking of new creation for theme parks, we did get some concept art for Monsters, Inc.
We got updated concept art.
Yeah, updated. Because we saw it was first introduced at D23, right?
Yes. And this week was also the closure of Muppet Vision 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Definitely got to see. I think Joey posted the video of the Rainbow Connection being sang.
Yeah, in the courtyard. And the last person that was into the theater on the last show was Jim Henson's daughter. So that was really
That is
cool.
a blurry picture they've given us there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Disney Food Blog posted this. It was the first look at the new concept art for the Monsters, Inc. land coming to Hollywood Studios. So some of the big changes that they highlighted were several billboards have been updated or removed completely, fresh new colors on some of the buildings that give the whole land a bright, colorful vibe, as you expect from anything Pixar related. New entrance areas have been added, including one for the main Monsters, Inc. attraction. And I love that they use that little door icon there. And yes, the iconic Miss Piggy fountain is back in the new art. But of course, Miss Piggy herself isn't on it.
Yeah. They're using the fountain, but took Piggy off.
Yeah.
There'll probably be an etching of her somewhere on like a tile or
right. There'll be a nod to her for sure.
Yeah.
And then also they updated the movie theater. It's called the Glob Theater now.
Yep, Glob Theater. I actually am very, very excited for the attraction that they are giving to this land because it is not like anything else that we actually have. So I'm curious to see what technology that they use. For anybody who doesn't know, you're basically flying through the door system of the Monsters, Inc. warehouse there, and that's going to be crazy to see. So
well, we do know that it's new load technology for the roller coaster. We saw that at South by Southwest, but I'm excited for the whole land because I love the world of monsters. And even if they have like a little corner for the university or something, but being able to eat at Harryhausen's is going to be awesome.
I know. I want to eat at Harryhausen so bad.
So I'm excited.
But also, I'm intrigued about what's going to go in the Glob Theater. Whether it's going to be like an actual theater show, or if it's going to be like a store, or if it's going to be an eatery or something like that. I don't know. But because they never really said anything, but that's the first time I've seen like a theater in the concept art. So
yeah, they haven't teased anything. How do you guys feel about losing Monsters, Inc. On the West Coast?
I'm fine with
it. I like the attraction, but like we've said on the live a couple times, I am a fan of Avatar, so I'm excited for Avatar Land going there.
I mean, I'm sad. Okay. So I'm one of the few people who got to experience it as Superstar Limo and Monsters, Inc. I like Monsters, Inc. a lot better than Superstar Limo. I thought it was great technology, especially with Roz. I am sad to lose it because it is kind of the only thing monsters we have here. But I think it's time to revamp that entire area. It's the only thing except for the Hollywood Lounge, which is a bar area that goes on there, except for, there is a stage where they use for Oogie Boogie and mostly dancers come and dance in like the schools, they'll come and dance there in the park. I'm sad to lose that, but I do think that whole area needs a facelift because they didn't use it after the pandemic. It just went quiet. Nobody goes over there except to get a drink. So,
and honestly, I'm excited to see Monsters Inc. kind of get a bigger presence in the parks. I feel like it's something that a lot of kids actually haven't had exposure to, though. So they're probably going to have to do something with media, create some shorts or something.
Yeah. I'm just sad that that kids will have to travel to one coast to experience it because we don't have anything monsters unless they further down decide to bring something back. That's monsters.
Paint the night.
Well, yeah, but I mean like something that's always there.
So I was just thinking something that'd be cool for the Glob Theater is kind of similar to the sci-fi drive-in, how they're showing the old 1950s kind of like sci-fi stuff. But if they did something but where humans were the monsters and people are like, oh, no, I think that'd be
cool.
pretty clever.
That would be fun.
I still think they should somehow move the Mike and Sully's laugh floor to there because I love that's so amazing. And then plus it would open up something new too at Magic Kingdom. So
yeah, well, that was kind of like I entertained that just in my head just a little bit. Like when I saw the concept art, I was like, well, it could be like a live play theater where they do move the laugh floor there, or like could be a movie theater and they, play a movie in there or something like that, like our Main Street Cinema.
Yeah.
If you have any ideas about what they're going to do with the theater, go ahead and pop us a note in Discord, or if you're watching us on YouTube so that you can see the visuals, make sure you hit the notification bell and leave a comment on the video and let us know what you think is going to be in the GOB video.
Might be a great character meet and greet area too, though, actually.
It could be, yeah. And maybe that's what they'll use it for. Because now Mike and Sully will have a dedicated area now.
For sure.
Instead of just a generic Pixar.
Speaking of running from humans, we've got the Halloween half marathon announced. Courtney, what do you want to tell us about the half marathon?
Well, the half marathon is going to be the last one before Disney does their renovate, starts construction on all of the new stuff at DCA, because the marathons, they go through both parks. So when they do the construction, they won't want anybody running backstage or through the parks. So they're not going to have it in 2026. So this is the last one that will be at Disneyland for a while.
And they just came back.
Yeah, I know.
This is the second one, right? The second Halloween.
Yeah, this is the second Halloween. Yeah, this is the second Halloween one. They did just release the medals for the races. So Ursula is on the 5K. She'll be on Friday. They also have a yoga one that's on Thursday morning or something like that. But Ursula is going to be on the 5K. Cruella is going to be the 10K. Captain Hook's going to be the kids' races. And Maleficent will be the half marathon.
And they do also have
And then the challenge will be Panic. The challenge.
Chills and Thrills.
With Hades
challenge.
Right behind them. If you look at the net,
Yeah.
it looks pretty awesome.
Oh,
right
cool. I didn't even see him. But yeah, that's if you do the 10K and the half marathon together. Yeah, if you do all
19.3 miles.
Yeah.
Do you have the dates for the Halloween half
It's
marathon?
September 4th through the 6th.
7th.
7th.
Yeah.
So the 4th is the Thursday where the yoga is going to be in that morning. And then Friday is going to be the 5K. And then Saturday is the 10K. Sunday's the half. And, if you do Saturday and Sunday, then you get the challenge.
Yes. And they always do race weekends. So.
Yes. And if you guys remember our episode with my niece Tori and Bethany talking about the treasure, Bethany and my sister will be running in the half marathon that weekend.
Yeah.
And We'll all be drinking coffee.
I will be at a Jonas Brothers concert on that Saturday night, though, at Dodger Stadium.
Hey, that's fun, though.
It is, yes.
So when you're running through the parks, there are a lot of details that you miss. But when you are in a race weekend and you have some time to kill because you're not running at that moment, you can definitely check out our friends Kevin, Amanda, and Kim at Where in the Park and get yourself a theme park scavenger hunt pack to play their Where in the Park games. I think that race weekends are a great time to use their game packs.
Oh, absolutely.
All the time, literally all the time. But race weekends are a great time to just be like, hey, there's a lot going on in the park right now. Let me find something else to do. That's fun and enjoyable for the whole family. So let's hear from Where in the Park.
Hey fam, what scavenger hunt are you doing?
Well, we are doing Where in the Park.
Do you guys know Where in the Park? Because we do.
We do.
So how you play this is that they give you a deck of cards with an image on it, and you get to look around and see where in the park that is.
And they're fun. So if you like to find stuff, this is what you need to do.
The amazing game, Where in the Park, right here.
If you're a seasoned Disney park goers as we are, it's a fun, challenging even for the hardcore Disney parks fan.
We have played the Where in the Park games that we felt like, ooh, we got
still
this
a
in
challenge.
the bag. Oh no, yeah, still a challenge, a fun challenge though, not an impossible challenge.
Check
Yeah,
them out.
they get really close to details, and you're like, I have never even seen that. I don't even know.
Where in the park have I seen that?
The great thing about these is that they're not in attractions and they're out in the open places. It's meant for families to play.
Besides people who've been there a lot, it's fun for people that are new to the parks as well, because you catch some of those details that you would probably miss when you're first going.
So there's images that you are finding on one side of the card, and then the other has the hint and the answer that you can reveal if you choose to.
Before it was just the hint and the answer, but now if you really want the land,
it'll tell you
they'll
where.
give you the land for an extra hint. You guys can take as long as you wish without the hint.
Yeah.
Without the hint, it's hard.
But that's what makes it fun.
But they do not just do Disney parks, obviously. What other parks do you guys actually cover?
Universal and all that good stuff.
East Coast, West Coast, and they're continuing to expand even more after that.
Check them out, whereinthepark.com, if you need to get some game packs. They are so much fun.
We appreciate Where in the Park.
They're awesome,
We love
Kevin and
that.
Amanda.
Get you some Where in the Park today.
Hell yeah.
Use promo code Walt's APT Podcast to save 10% at whereinthepark.com.
Definitely check out whereinthepark.com. Their game packs are incredible, and you will always find an opportunity where you can use them in the parks.
Yeah, I think they can even do, we're talking about the runs, they can even do like race editions because they have the same routes usually for certain races. I think. And those
something for them to think about.
If I'm wrong, then never mind.
Or maybe a party pack. Since we get parties, the parties do change, but some things are kind of always the same. So speaking of parties, we've got some Oogie Boogie news.
We do. We finally got the date where the tickets go on sale.
Yeah.
So everybody get ready. If you are an Inspire pass holder, then they go on sale Tuesday, June 24th. All other passes, they go on sale June 25th. And for the general public, they go on sale June 26th.
And can you leave that picture up real quick for our YouTube? I love how because they're showing the new costumes for Mickey and Minnie this year for Halloween or the party at least, and it's a take on the 70th costumes. Just
actually,
Halloween.
I don't know if they'll be at the party, but they're definitely going to be on Main Street for sure in their new Halloween costumes, and it is the take on the 70th anniversary costume.
So the party takes place not just at Disneyland Resort, but there's also DCA days, right?
No, Oogie Boogie exclusively takes place at DCA.
Okay. Do they? Okay.
They have like daily like Halloween stuff that happens during the day in Disneyland, but like the party specific stuff happens in California Adventure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the only thing that's at Disneyland is the Hollow Screams fireworks.
Yeah, the fireworks. So what they were announcing is basically everything they're doing for Halloween, which is basically what they always do for Halloween. So they're going to have Halloween time on Main Street. So Mickey and Minnie, I believe everybody will be in their Halloween best, but Mickey and Minnie definitely have new outfits this year. They're going to do Haunted Mansion Holiday again. So we'll have a brand new gingerbread house in there. They're going to have the Halloween Screams fireworks. They're bringing back the Happiest Haunts guided tour, which is a 2-hour walking tour across Disneyland Park and includes Lightning Lane access to select attractions and reserved viewing for Halloween Screams. In California Adventures, Luigi's getting a Halloween overhaul. Mater's Junkyard gets a Halloween overhaul to Mater's Graveyard Jamboree. Guardians of the Galaxy will be Monsters After Dark. And then Mickey's Trick or Treat will be in the Disney Junior Theater during the day because Doofenshmirtz, I think, is going to be in there again at night. And then we have the Halloween food and drink, which they always seem to think Halloween and villains, I'm going to make everything as spicy as hell. So, because they're like, oh yeah, we have a Dio cream cheese pretzel bread with jalapenos on it. And like, no jalapenos, please. So there's that.
I'm okay with that though. I like it spicy.
And they kind of tease because they had the map of what DC is going to look like. And so they have some returning villains, bringing back Hades, Doofenshmirtz, Judge Doom, and some other ones. But they also said they're going to be announcing two more.
Yeah, they had 2 fire spots that they hadn't announced anything yet. And
that's exciting.
I did see that they had removed Madam Mim and Sid.
So we're thinking
I thought
another.
Sid was pretty popular, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. Awesome.
He's been there since inception, basically. So I think they're thinking it's time for a new Pixar villain. I'm not sure because that's the only really like Pixar villain that.
Well, Ernesto de la Cruz.
Well, but okay, besides Ernesto, but he's only been like the last 2 or 3 years. I think this will be the 4th year he'll be there.
Gotcha.
And Agatha is
at least the 3rd year, maybe the 3rd year back. I don't know.
Well, we're excited to see who it'll be.
Yeah, they always
find out.
And we'll be there. Actually, we're going to be there just after the race weekend with my niece.
Yeah, we'll be there September 9th. Hopefully, we get to get fast enough.
All right. Well,
we will because we're inspired, so we'll have.
Yeah. You'll get first picks.
It'll be Halloween again this year.
Speaking of other themed nights, Universal Fan Fest nights. Joey?
Yeah, so I can bring up the thing here because I'm sharing what Kevin shared because
I've got it right here.
So Kevin posted this in our Discord.
Is that what you wanted?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes.
So with the extremely successful Fan Fest at Universal Studios this year, they announced that it is coming back again next year, spring 2026. So basically just stay connected to Universal because they haven't announced anything yet. I mean, it's a whole year out. They just finished it like a few weeks ago. So
but it was so successful, they were like, we got to do this again. So
yeah, and this was one of the coolest things ever.
I mean, it looks freaking cool. So it says, step into immersive in-world experiences. Your favorite fandoms come to life after dark. Themed food and drinks, themed merchandise. That merchandise looks dope.
It was. The merchandise was really good.
Then the block party, which it says the biggest fans of sci-fi, fantasy, gaming, and anime can gather together for live performances, trivia, and photo ops, and then exhilarating rides and attractions. So obviously you get access to the attractions.
The attractions were open, but like basically we when we went, we just did the party specific things. So.
Yeah, but it was funny because we were in line to meet Yoshi, which was brand new for the festival. And then some of our friends, it was their first time in Super Nintendo Land. So they're like, we got to ride the
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. And they went in so quick through the line. They didn't even get the explanation on how the ride works. And it's very VR augmented reality. So they had no idea how to move their heads and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
They skipped right past
horrible.
it.
They were excited. Universal is encouraging you to download their official Universal Studios Hollywood app to get digital menus for restaurants, purchase your tickets, check wait times and show times, and interactive maps. So they've been pushing that, but they do want people to download their app. So if you want to go into your app store and download the Universal app, you'll be able to see ticket prices, the available dates for Fan Fest nights.
Yeah. And
there's free Wi-Fi in the park, so.
Of course.
Yeah.
And a little shameless plug, but I did, we did post a video on Elements of Fun, and it was pretty much so for people that have not watched our videos, I really do it as not really like us yapping, like, a lot of videos are, but it's kind of like it's like POV style. So
yeah, it's like you're hanging out with us. Mm-hmm.
So we got like the full D&D experience, Star Trek, Harry Potter stuff, and of course like the whole second half of the video is Hill Valley. So check it out, Elements of Fun.
And you guys do a good job, and honestly, like, you guys spend enough time sitting here with us giving the news and stuff, so it's fun to see you guys in a different perspective. Yeah, I've seen you guys in that perspective because I've hung out with you in person, but it's fun that you give your viewers that opportunity. So everyone check out Elements of Fun. Also, speaking of things in a different perspective, we have an artist here on our show who does that. So we are going to hear from our last and final sponsor of the night, Lewis from Sunken City Design.
Sunken City Designs brings you art. Do you like art? I know I do. How about art based on Disney characters, like Mickey Mouse and the Oyster Thief? That's actually from Alice in Wonderland, the best princess movie ever made. Also, we have some dwarfs that have their heads ripped off sometimes. Why? I don't know. It's because it's Sunken City Design. So go there, sunkencitydesign.com. Get yourself some great merchandise. You got posters and, I believe, clothes. Who knows? I got a cup from there, and it's fantastic. You like cups? Do you ever use those? I do. Go for it. Oh yeah, sweatshirts. Can't forget about those. If you're ever cold, get yourself a sweatshirt from sunkencitydesign.com. Also, Wall-E. That's the best movie ever made. Second only to Alice in Wonderland. All right. If you also like Walt's apartment, they have merch for that too. Where? sunkencitydesign.com. Hopefully you've already loaded up that site and you're looking at it and you have some items in your cart. Go ahead and check out as soon as you can because the show's about to come back on. All right, everybody. We appreciate you.
Definitely support your local artist. And if you like what you've seen from Sunken City Designs, support Lou. He's a huge member of our team as far as creating our graphics, all of our show art, and giving us all a run for our money. So he's a handful. He is, but we love him.
Yes.
We love him. Don't tell him I said the L word. He'll be upset. But we have some exciting things to talk about because we have a little bit of a trip report. So Courtney, you and Kelly did the Universal AP takeover. Do you want to start with what all we experienced?
Yeah. So the AP takeover happens like twice a year. It happens in June and it sort of happens in December.
That's you.
It was a cough, but thank you.
Take it back.
It happens in December with the like Grinch stuff that comes out that they do for Christmas. This one is mostly just, they don't really have a big theme or anything like that. the park is just basically open later. It's an event that's from 8 to 12, but like the park's open to you at 7, so you can go in at any time. You can even go during the day if you want, but you have to like reserve. You have to tell them that you're coming, but it's basically free with your pass, and then you go in. It's one of the cool perks of being a Universal Pass holder. You just reserve the day. Well, this one, it was only one day, but sometimes they have 2. So you just reserve the day that you're going to go, and then you just show up and tell them and show them the email that you reserved. This one, it's usually sponsored by Coca-Cola. So they'll usually give out free soda of the newest flavor that they're trying to promote. Like we had the Orange Dream. One year we went, it was the Starlight soda. So it's just like those weird sodas.
I mean, as long as it's not Beverly, I think we're okay.
If only, because that orange soda was just way too orangey.
Would you rather have had Beverly?
I mean, I've had the Beverly. I don't find it being too bad, but it was better than the Beverly for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what is your lady's favorite flavor of Coke, by the way?
Cherry.
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 Cherry mostly goes best in like or cherry vanilla. Like
That's cool.
Definitely goes best.
I think cherry's my second favorite, but I think my first favorite's definitely a Jack flavored Coke. So.
Oh yeah, that
That's
you
the
know
best,
what?
yeah.
I can agree with that.
I thought we were going non-alcoholic.
Yeah, I was like trying to keep it kosher over here.
I just wanted to mention a Coke.
Basically, in these events, they have DJs, kind of like what they do at Eve, which is their New Year's Eve party. They have DJs around. This year, they had a silent disco, so that was pretty funny. Amanda and Kevin went too. They thought that was pretty funny because they've never seen that before.
They did a video too, didn't they?
Yeah, they videoed it.
Check it out on We're in the Park's Instagram.
Yeah. They thought it was really funny. They caught Kelly and Sarah with the headphones on. So our friends Sarah and Richard from Skywalking Through Neverland and Dave were there along with Amanda and Kevin. We all were there, and it's just basically the park is open late. The tram does close early. This tram ride, the studio tour, was a little bit different because it was a Thursday night, so they were actually filming. They were filming on Colonial Street, and they were filming The Burbs, which is going to be on Peacock as a series.
I think that's something we forget is like Hollywood Studios is no longer an active lot. But
no, it is an active lot.
Hollywood Studios is
still. Yeah, Hollywood Studios is still an active lot. They're filming all the time during the week. No. You mean Disney?
No. Yeah, I'm talking about like,
Disney.
I think like because Hollywood Studios were like they're not an active lot anymore, but Universal is still using their space as an active lot, and I think a lot of people forget that. So when you said that, I was like, oh, that's really cool because you you got to see that going through the tram.
This time it was really funny because like Jaws didn't have any of the sound effects
because they're getting ready for the.
Well, because it's by Colonial Street and they were filming.
They couldn't have the sound effects.
They couldn't have any of the sound effects. So you had the fire and you had the shark jump out at you, but like with none of the like music or anything like that. So you had like. You didn't know it was coming, and then Bruce just like pops up at you, and you're like,
You know what?
That's a different experience.
It is 2025. They can remove that sound with AI in post.
I know, right?
Nowadays.
But yeah, so they tell you it's a quiet zone because they were filming. They also had an event going on the New York streets, so like we couldn't even go on the back lot. Really. Go through those, but still, like it was fun to go on it in the dark. It just was weird because it's been a long time since I've been through the lot when something's filming because we usually go on the weekend. So that was fun. But yeah, otherwise it's just like being in the park during the day. But it's all annual pass holders there. It's no one else.
So they have different tiers of annual pass holders. Is it just for the highest tier of pass holder?
No,
it's
everybody. APs? No, it's all APs.
Okay, very nice. So when you register in advance, if you have the highest AP, you get to register first? Or
no, they just kind of send out the email to everybody. They really haven't gotten that far along with their AP like perks, where like platinum gets different perks than others.
Gotcha.
Besides the fact that you get a Horror Nights ticket with it, and you get the Express Pass after 3. That's the only pass that gets those perks. Gold and silver. Gold, I think, gets parking, but by a certain time. Well, platinum does too. So gold and platinum both get parking on their pass, and silver doesn't. So.
And one thing we found out, they don't give a crap too who uses a pass for a discount, because like Disney's super strict on how you do the discount and what's being paid with what and stuff. But our friend, when we went to FanFest, they was just like, "You're a pass holder, okay."
Yeah.
I mean,
and Disney wasn't always like that. I think that's a more recent thing for Disney to like fixate on it.
Yeah. Well,
but we also have seen a lot of people
abusing it.
Yeah, for sure. That wasn't the only exciting thing you've done since the last time we've talked to you, Courtney. You guys also sat in at the archives, right?
Yes. So we did get to go to D23 and Glendale. We got to go to the D23 offices, which we found out was the old airport. They moved into the like Grand Central Station kind of thing, but it was the old airport before LAX was built back in the day. So they are at that museum now. They have an airtime museum there, but they were doing they were celebrating 55 years of the Walt Disney Archives. And so when we went, they had certain items there under glass that were on show for showing like what they have in the archives. They had a book with Mickey Mouse written on it. They had Cinderella's glass slipper from the live action movie. They had the busts from the Haunted Mansion of the 3 ghosts, hitchhiking ghosts. They had a BB-8 that was screen used from The Force Awakens. They had the Winnie the Pooh that was used in Christopher Robin. And so those, the original Mickey Mouse doll that Walt was photographed with. Mm-hmm. So those were out for you to see. And then they had a panelist of all of the members from the archive teams. So they kind of told us like what they all do from their respective departments of the archives, and kind of explain the process of how something goes from being found to put in the archives and preserved. And then they had another panel of legends. Well, not all legends, but mostly legends. We had Kim Irvine. We had the, I think he's the producer of Tron. His name is Jerry. His last name's Springer. His last name's Springer. No, but that's why I was like, it's not Jerry, but his last name is Justin Springer. That's his name, Justin Springer. And then Don Hahn was there, and Bill Farmer and Martha Blanding, who was just inducted as a Disney legend at the Disney Expo. So they all gave stories about how they, work with the archives to preserve things in the parks, preserve things of the characters. The really interesting thing that we found out about the Tron movie is that they wanted to do a scene in there that from their mythology, they wanted to film in Kevin Flynn's office that is going to be above the arcade. And they wanted to get a sense of how you would, create an office that's been preserved for a long time. And what better way to do that than go into Walt's office, which they recreated and preserved from the last time that he was in there. So it's going to be like, you'll get that sense in that scene in the movie, because it's actually going to be in the movie. He said that when you walk into that office, it's going to be preserved as in their mythology of when Kevin left it. Kevin Flynn left it like Walt did.
And that's so crazy to think about too, is because like they've moved that office around this country. Like they had it set up at One Man's Dream, then it's back where it was supposed to be. So And
Thanks, Dave Smith.
They've done a lot.
I know,
The archives
right?
really,
And Becky Klein.
Dave Smith,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, Dave Smith and Becky Klein made it a reality to be there now. I mean, me and Joey have actually been inside that office, and it is, you can very much feel Walt's presence. It's like being in his apartment at Disneyland. You can feel the presence in there.
Yeah, I remember a story that the creative director for One Man Stream said, like, when they had everything set up, and Walt's nephew Roy was walking through, and he just like started to cry, and he's like, it's like being there. And then he tells the joke about like them filing off the bottom of the couch or the sofa so that like he would be taller than everybody he was talking to. So he kind of had that domineering presence because he wasn't naturally like a super tall man.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And then
we wouldn't have those stories if they weren't preserving them with the archives.
Absolutely. And Bill Farmer kind of said that too. You know, he uses it a lot to go like, you know, they preserved a lot of stuff for Goofy and the Goofy movie. They just did a documentary about the Goofy movie. So they used a lot of that artwork and stuff that they showed. I know they showed a lot of stuff from like Kevin Lima's garage, but I bet some of it came from the archives as well. Don Hahn, he's an interesting one. As much as I've seen him around D23, I did not know that he started his career in the morgue. So he was the one who moved the morgue from where it was originally, because it was near the boiler room. It was in the boiler room. So then they were like, no, we got to get this out to preserve it. And so him and Dave Smith, he said he took his little red wagon and put everything in it and moved it to where it resides now. But I didn't know that Don Hahn, before he became this big time producer of all of our childhood movies, he worked in the morgue.
And when we say morgue, we're not talking about bodies. We're talking about
we're not.
We're talking about
we're talking about old drawings.
Yeah.
The basement.
Drawings of characters. Yes.
Well, they brought out a special archived item too.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. And then they talked to Martha Blanding too, who just wrote a book and was inducted as a Disney legend. You know, she was the first African American VIP tour guide, and she also spearheaded the program about how it kind of evolved to now, where she wanted all of the VIPs to feel comfortable and welcomed. So when there was somebody of, you know, like Don Hahn's stature, where he has a lot of things that you should know about him, she would, you know, she made it a kind of a mandatory like lesson before you take them around, is to go to the Walt Disney Archives and learn about these people, because they're VIPs and they're coming from the studio. They're coming from, you know, to Disneyland, because she was a VIP tour guide of Disneyland. So she made it like kind of part of their education of becoming a tour guide, that you go to, so that you go to the Walt Disney Archives and you learn about all these people so that they feel comfortable around you, and, you know, you feel comfortable around them so that you can just talk to them and take them around Disneyland for the day.
You know who else would have required that?
Well, yeah. So
I guarantee you he would have made them do the same thing.
Absolutely, because they're people too. And so then after they talked to them, they brought out new additions to the Walt Disney Archives. They brought out new stuff from Lilo and Stitch. They brought out Scrump the doll, her little doll, and the rubber blaster that Jumba carries. And the one thing is like when we were at the Angel Stadium baseball game, they did have a little Walt Disney Archives exhibit with the Lilo and Stitch items. And since Scrump was under glass, we didn't know that the camera actually works. There's a camera around Scrump, and it actually works. And so this time he was not under glass, and the handler took out the white gloves and pressed on the camera, and the flash works. So
cool.
Yeah, and it, you know, she just carries it in like one scene. I mean, I know she has it longer in the animated, but like in the live action, she doesn't really do a whole whole much with Scrump. So I didn't really realize that it had a camera on it to be at first, until I saw the doll up close at the Angels game. But then I find out that the flash actually works on the camera, because it's like literally this tiny.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
it's this story that's been kind of unfolding for you over the last couple of weeks. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
You get a little bit here and a little bit there.
Yeah. And then they brought out the harmonica. They wanted to get the guitar, but from what was it? It's the Bob Dylan movie with Timothy Charlemagne, an unknown,
A complete unknown.
a complete unknown. That's what it is. A complete unknown. So Gibson owns the guitar, so they weren't able, because I guess whenever a new movie comes out, the archives puts out a list of like a wish list of what they want to get to put into the archives. So they wanted the guitar because it's Bob Dylan, and they were like, that's iconic. Like, we should have the guitar. But they never owned the guitar. Gibson owns the guitar. So the guitar had to go back to Gibson. But they own the harmonica. So the harmonica that Timothy Charlemagne uses in the movie is going to be in the archives.
Very cool.
And then they brought out the Danny Iglesias, who is the curator of the Muppets archives, and they're getting some big additions to the Walt Disney Archives, since they've lost their space here in LA, even though they're keeping some things, but they are starting to retire some screen used things, and one of those screen used things that they are retiring is the 1989 Jim Henson used Kermit the Frog puppet.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So Kermit is going to be in the archives, which we think he'll be in a archives exhibit at some point traveling the world, but at this moment he's going to be in the archives along with his banjo from the Great Muppet Caper. And then they also did a little like Muppet Babies banjo. It's a smaller version of the banjo. And then for our Snow White fans, they did bring out a Foley artist that had been, I am not sure if he was the Foley artist, but he had been the curator of keeping this old jugs and stuff, and tire hubcaps that look like junk, but they're actually the sound of the organ, of Grumpy's organ from Snow White. So the jugs and the hubcaps, they're going to be in the archives, which were screen used as the sound of the organ, which in the new Snow White, they wanted the same sound for the organ. So they used the old 1937 Foley items in the new movie, which cool. I found is a very cool fact of this movie that I have not seen yet. But just because I haven't had time yet. I know it's on Disney Plus now, and I did say that I was going to watch it, but I haven't had time. And they also had this like bamboo stick that they kind of ripped apart, and he would brush upon it, and it was like fire crackling that they used in Bambi. So that's going to be in the archives. And then this funnel and a plastic hose, which was what they blow into it, and it becomes the voice of Evinrude from The Rescuers. So that's going to be in the archives as well.
Very cool. Well, it sounds like you guys had a really great time with all of your
Yeah,
fun things
and then
this last week.
they gave us these postcards, and so they're black and white, but then whatever's in color is what was the item that was in the case. So
that's cool. So it's Walt and Mickey is the archived item.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the book.
Yeah.
And so for the audio listeners, it's the book that he holds on the Walt Disney Presents,
when he's talking about
the storytelling book.
Yeah. And then here's the Hitchhiking Ghosts.
Very cool.
And then here's BB-8.
BB-8. Oh, that is the most precious picture. I love it.
The backside of Ewan.
Right? And then the glass slippers.
Cinderella's glass slippers.
And they are featuring these on their Instagram page and telling about them because, they kind of positioned them in the way that like the pictures, they do a lot of work to preserve them. They do 3D modeling. They take photographs. They measure them. They make sure they're still in good shape. They also showed us a video of like basically the process of how something goes through doing all of this, and I think they're going to debut it. I think the actual anniversary of the archives is on June 20th, so they might put out that video that they showed us. So just be on the lookout at that.
Yeah, definitely check out the D23 archives on social media. We've just got a couple quick trips to run through really quick before we land this show at home. So a couple weeks ago, Sean and Lou were actually on with me, and we talked about how Soren was getting an update. So there was not going to be a crooked, twisted, bent over, leaning.
Bent Eiffel Tower.
Everybody called a curved wiener. So.
Yeah. So it is fixed. Hang on. There you go. No more bendy tower over Soren. So they had already, taken care of that issue in Walt Disney World. And I think my Wi-Fi is like, girl, stop right now.
Yeah.
Indiana Wi-Fi. But that's okay. But okay. That's okay. Joey, you want to grab the next one?
Yeah, so I got a video here on YouTube. It's a better one, but like Courtney mentioned that they had a little preview for the
Mega Movie Summer, which will be highlighting the 50th anniversary of Jaws, 40th anniversary of Back to the Future. They're going to have a Toothless you can take a picture with. Even like Jurassic World, they have little copies they're the little tiny ones from the Lost World. They're gonna have a little scavenger hunt. Dangerous. Cute and dangerous.
Yeah. So, but like we mentioned, we saw what the ride vehicle for Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift is going to look like. But they put out a concept art and a video introduction. So here's that video.
That looks so fun.
That's crazy. I love it, but it's crazy.
So
it
for
looks
our
so fast.
Yeah, so for our audio listeners, basically the roller coaster, I'll just call it the train, is going to be 4 vehicles, each one holding up to 4 riders, and they're going to spin very similar to Cosmic Rewind, but it's going to be more of a drift. But some of them do look like they spin out, and it's highlighted by Toretto's 1971, I believe, Dodge Charger from the original movies. Plus, for those who have been on Cosmic Rewind, it is fun, it is dizzying, but it doesn't seem as fast. And on the release, they said this ride is going to hit up to about 70-75 miles an hour.
Ooh.
Whoa,
that's
faster than
Test.
Yeah, which is the fastest ride at Disney.
It peaks
That's
at 65,
crazy.
so, and we all know it's on the side of a hill, the side of a mountain too. So
yeah, and it goes up and over the stairway.
So if you're not a thrill junkie, it may not be for you.
This will be a lot better than the slow tram Fast and the Furious little thing that they had.
Yeah.
But that'll open next year. So
Are we thinking this spring? I'm not sure.
I'm thinking late spring, early summer is
Yeah.
my guess.
Yeah, I'm excited to hopefully get there and ride it, and not at least hear you guys talk about it. But our next quick trip, moving on, last week we talked about who we thought was going to be the special guest at the VI Pass Holder Days in Epcot. So they said somebody was coming to the Teddy Bar in Germany Pavilion, and we're like, oh, it's probably.
Yeah, we were like, it's probably Duffy. No,
their Teddy Bar.
Oh, it sounded like something else. I'm sorry.
I was like, wait, what did I say?
Never mind.
No, the Dear Teddy Bar. And we thought that it was going to be Duffy. But no,
because it's a teddy bear shop. What better person to put there?
And they said all my friends are famous. Well, I guess the dwarves are famous, I guess.
Yeah.
So you can see Dopey. He'll make appearances beginning June 9th through July 31st from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. for VI Pass Holder Days.
Kevin said, hopefully it's not the talking Dopey.
It doesn't look like it's the talking Dopey.
No, and Snow White is typically outside of the Germany Pavilion anyways, so that makes sense. But
it does make sense, but they literally said in the teddy bear shop. So I was like, so Duffy's getting pretty like popular in the States. I mean, D23 did a whole panel on it at, the same place we were at for the archives. So I thought, hey, Duffy's coming for a limited time. No, it's Duffy.
I'd rather see Dopey than Duffy.
Okay.
Are you able to pull up the video so I don't freeze my screen here, Joey?
Yes.
For the shoulder pal, which is absolutely freaking the cutest thing in the world. So it reminded me of the little Banshee ones, the little Banshee shoulder pals. That
this is at
Universal.
Universal.
Be able to get, at Flight of Passage. So this is at Universal, and it's the Aqualops shoulder pal. So it's a tiny little dinosaur, and it blinks and it moves.
Which is the new dinosaur that they're gonna have for Mega Movie Summer too, as like a meet and greet. So that's kind of really cool. But also they're doing it as well with the Niffler right now too. And he kind of does the same thing where you touch him and he moves and he interacts. Like our friend Julie, she operates the National Kiss a Wookiee Day Instagram, and she carries Chewbacca, like a interactive Chewbacca around, and for that Instagram account. And the Niffler interacts with Chewie. So I think the same thing will be true for this little dinosaur dude too.
And Doc Brown did too.
And he is available Universal Hollywood and Universal Orlando. So
cool.
So normally I think these like shoulder plushes and stuff are kind of dumb.
Not a plush, it's plastic.
Well, I know.
Well, yeah.
Wait, but like I don't know, people walk around with these around the parks, especially adults. But this is cute as hell. I would put it on the backpack like the little girl does. And this is supposedly a big character in the movie because there's a kid in the movie that you see in the trailers, and she's got this Oculus or
whatever it's called, yeah.
Yeah, and you see it in her backpack. It's like
interesting.
Yeah,
so that's why they were carrying it in a backpack when they were showing it off at the media event.
That's kind of be a crowd pleaser in the movie for the kids that are into dinosaurs, and they're definitely going to want to buy this now when they go to Universal.
Yeah, very cute. All right. I think that's all the news we have for today. So if you've enjoyed this episode of Extra Magic Hour, please scroll down on your podcast player, give us a 5-star rating. And if you have an extra minute to leave a written review or to share it with other theme park loving friends, that would be amazing. It only takes 2 seconds, and it tells Apple, Spotify, and all of the other players that you love what we're doing and that we're doing something magical, and it helps our channel out tremendously. If you are checking us out on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Be sure to check out our amazing sponsors, our free Discord, and our Patreon page for more details. Links to everything are in our show notes. And until next time, we'll see you in the parks.
Bye.
Later.
Switch on the sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world 'cause it's all so